Hello folks, and welcome to this, the January 10th, 2016 edition of Decision 2016 Digest, our first episode here in 2016, where we bring you the top election, policy, and political headlines of the week. You know, it's going to be a banner year for the channel with election 2016 upon us, and we'll be working real hard to bring you all of the election news and headlines you need to make a decision during this election season. Things are heating up in the presidential election with the Iowa caucuses just 3 weeks from tomorrow and the first in the nation New Hampshire primary on February 9th. The latest polls and news headlines are driving some interesting developments for both the GOP and Democratic primaries. Bad news continues to pile up for Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton, with polls showing her in trouble in New Hampshire against socialist Bernie Sanders. New developments on our email scandal and question about husband Bill Clinton's extramarital activities before and during his presidency. You know what? I keep talking about all this news lining up for Hillary Clinton, and I've decided to call it the crap sandwich candidacy. You know, Hillary is full of baloney, wants to spend your lettuce, and has to worry about what Bill will do with his pickle when attractive women are around. I mean, Jesus, is that any way to run a campaign? Most Democrats will tell you Hillary is regarded as the presumptive nominee for their party, yet polls released just this weekend show her neck and neck with Bernie Sanders in Iowa and 13 points behind Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire. Bernie Sanders, the senator of Vermont, is an avowed socialist. She's losing to a socialist, people. One could conclude that the Dems seem to want anyone but Hillary at the moment. And even worse news for her campaign, the latest release of emails from her time as Secretary of State reveal she asked a senior staffer to remove top secret designations from some of the emails that ran through her illegal private server. And the hits just keep on coming. Many Washington insiders are now actively saying Hillary Clinton could very well be indicted, you hear me? Felony indicted for her mishandling of the nation's national security secrets during her time at the State Department. And she wants you to vote her as Commander-in-Chief? Give me a break. It got even more interesting this past week when the Clinton camp deployed their quote-unquote secret weapon, her husband, former President Bill Clinton. Hillary, the self-avowed champion of women's rights, sent her philandering husband out on the campaign trail, and he was immediately met with a barrage of media questions regarding the Monica Lewinsky affair and his marital infidelities both during and after his presidency. You know, folks, I honestly can't stand the thought of Hillary as president and every nightly news story from Washington beginning with, "Today Clinton lawyer said." You know, it'll be the 1990s all over again. Oy vey. And for those of you that don't know, oy vey is Yiddish for holy shit. This scrutiny doesn't even include the Clinton Foundation fees collected from countries that had business at the State Department while Hillary was Secretary of State. But the beat goes on, so stay tuned. But today, I nominate both Hillary and Bill Clinton as America's top future felons. Definitely a crap sandwich candidacy, if you ask me. On the GOP side, polls in the early primary states seem to be thinning the herd, with Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, and yes, Chris Christie showing signs of voter favor, depending on the poll that you look at. I will add the caution that anything can happen in this unprecedented election cycle. In the Iowa caucuses, Ted Cruz has edged ahead of firebrand Donald Trump in a handful of polls. Marco Rubio continues to edge up. The two debates between now and the caucuses could really help Rubio. But this is not a traditional primary season. Winning Iowa depends on a good ground game and getting supporters to caucus meetings in the dead of winter. Cruz has an exemplary ground crew which will help him. The Iowa caucuses are only 3 weeks from tomorrow. I've said before that polls are just a snapshot in time, and at this time they give the edge to Trump and Cruz as the quote-unquote front runners. Again, at the moment, but in many of the early state contests, a number of voters, in fact a large number of voters, change their minds and break late in the voting process, like the day before or the day of during the voting process. The same applies to the first in the nation primary in New Hampshire on February 9th, where a number of candidates seem to be making their last stand to remain viable, including New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. While polls show Trump leading at the moment in New Hampshire, Christie is going all out with voter contact efforts and personal town hall meetings. His numbers are inching up as the election approaches based on that effort. Jeb Bush is also redeploying staff and resources to both Iowa and New Hampshire in an attempt to reinvigorate his flailing campaign. Unfortunately, I'm afraid Jeb suffers from some of the same voter sentiment that's affecting Hillary Clinton. People want change, real change. Neither of them meet that test. The remaining candidates are suffering from Trump dominance of the news media, campaign organizational problems, and or fundraising challenges. This group of candidates need a breakout moment or two in either or both of the upcoming televised debates to survive. We shall see, and we will keep you posted here on Decision 2016 Digest. Coming up, join me tomorrow for my radio show in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern on the 405 radio. The streaming link is in the description below. When I welcome Jonathan Honig, a financial analyst, and he's on Fox News Cashing In with Eric Bowling. We'll talk to him about the true state of the economy that has seemed to be lacking in the current debate, and we'll talk about its role in the upcoming presidential election. Also, be sure to catch the next GOP debate this Thursday evening, sponsored by Fox Business Network. Time to start paying attention, folks. We're going to wrap it up for this episode, and we appreciate you watching. If you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let us know you appreciate what we're doing here. Also, a special deal for our viewers. If you like to listen to books instead of reading, you can get a free download from audible.com by using the link below down in the description. Also in the description are links to my radio show, my home radio station, the 405 radio, so be sure and check them out. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, get involved, and we'll see you next time right here on Decision 2016 Digest.